Hi, I'm Kate Paris. Today we are on our way to go meet with celebrity jewelry designer Mara Scalise. She is a dear friend of mine. She's a top jewelry designer in the industry. I love talking jewelry with her. But I'm also wanting to pick her brain about a holistic practice that she practices called Reiki, and I want to see how that could possibly support depression and anxiety. So we are about 10 minutes away. I'm so excited for you to meet her, to get to know her, and here we go. Hi! Hi, baby! Hello, hello!
How are you?
Good. Good. Thanks for having me.
Of course, I even miss you.
Well, thanks for getting me in today. I know you have a trunk show going on, and I already see lots of goodies. Lots of goodies. Okay, but before we get to shopping, because I could do some damage here, can we do your interview real quick?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, okay. Okay, Mara, you ready for this?
Hell yeah.
Okay, I have a lot of good questions for you.
So excited.
But let's start with the obvious one that I know a little bit, but I want to know what got you started in the fashion industry.
I was always making things and people was always asking me, what did I get it? Can you make me one? And kind of slowly, and then I started making, I think my first thing that I did as a collection was wear bikinis in Argentina because I want to wear them. So I started making them with a friend of mine, and then we have a partnership, and then we just started designing some clothing, and then I moved to New York, and then once I learned some English, I started styling. I started working with a friend of mine, styling, and it was just so natural. I didn't really think about it.
Well, you have such a natural style. You exude cool. You exude like just this beautiful like sexiness, but like a grounded sexiness about you. And I also think that plays a role and shows in your jewelry.
Oh, thank you,
So
baby.
what point did you start going from fashion to jewelry? What was that transition, and was it difficult to get into?
Oh wow, it's so interesting. Actually, as I was saying, I always was designing from hustling, making things, selling things, having fun, and never really charging. I think that was my job because I always have a side job. So I didn't really need it until I had my son. When Mateo was 2 years old, I was studying Reiki in between that time. In 2001, I do my first degree with Reiki, and I started becoming more and more aware of the energy in the metals and the alchemy and all that. So I was like, okay, I want to be really close to my son. I want to be able to spend more time with him. So I didn't want to work for somebody else, and I was working. It was like just too much. I just decided to start designing again. It was pretty much, I want to say, like I started with kind of like, this is my staple. That, you know, the black and gold, and, you know, it's a little bit rock and roll, a little bit punk, but also has, I don't know, has some strength for me. So I started making these little pieces because it was what I could afford at that time, those materials. And I made a big, huge throw pillow for my home with hand stitches and awesome Italian leather. So from that piece of leather, I made my first little bag, and a friend of mine really wanted it. She bought it, and kind of started by itself, and one thing took to the next one. And
So all by word of mouth at this point?
Totally. Very first year of my company, Inga, is a dear, close to my heart, stylist now became. She is a photographer. She's awesome, and she was styling Victoria's Secret. So she found me through an owner of a studio in New York that was wearing my pieces. So she tracked me, and she came and started pulling jewelry. So I think the first year of my company, all the Victoria's Secret girls were seeing on set all my pieces. Therefore, everybody started buying pieces like, here's my credit card, here's my credit card. So yeah, that just kind of happened, you know, organically. And then stylists started finding and hearing about my brand, I guess, and started doing pulls and, you know.
Which is how I met you.
Exactly. So I think was, you know, pretty organic, I have to say.
I really wanted to pick your brain about Reiki and learn a little bit more about it. And could you explain exactly what it is and what is the process of it?
What the process of Reiki is like basically when you get the first initiation, that is how you get the attunements and you get the channel open. It's called attunements or initiations, and basically what happens is like your crown chakra gets open, and the energy of the universe, or the energy where we're coming from, whatever you want to call that, basically comes through your head and it goes through the palms of your hands. And whatever you put your hands on that is alive and it needs healing and life energy is going to draw to you. So you basically become a channel, and you are a channel. You basically downloading that energy straight from the universe. You know, Jesus, they said that Jesus used to heal with his hands on, and Buddha, and they rediscovered this technique called Reiki in the late 1800s in Japan. So it's just pretty fascinating. You know,
I'm fascinated by it because you have been such a wonderful friend to me. And when I was going through my depression or whatnot, you and I would be together, and you would be like, "Give me your feet, take off your shoes, give me your feet." And I would be cringing inside to receive. That was really hard for me to receive, and I didn't quite get the process, but I could definitely feel the heat. I was very aware something was happening. And then you just kept speaking to me as we were having a conversation right now, but there was some sort of healing and energy work going on that I definitely felt, and kind of was just trusting the process. I didn't have any understanding of it.
I'm not working with my own energy. I just become a channel, so I can be just touching you and talking to you. It's basically you already start drawing, and you're just taking what you need from...
Just stay there for a while.
I'm a Reiki master, and that's what I was doing. That's what I was doing before I start designing. I was teaching Reiki, and I work with so many people with cancer right in the beginning. As soon as I start working with Reiki, my master starts sending me people in New York City that need Reiki, and somehow happens that all the people have cancer. So it's I just happened to deep into this healing with people that had really major illnesses. So it was really interesting. It was really humbling, and also just to, you know, knowing that this energy doesn't have nothing to do. I can never tell people what Reiki is going to do, because it works in everybody and your needs, and it goes in so many levels. It goes in the level of karmatically, spiritual. I think the easiest part to heal is the human body, basically. But it balances everything, and you know, it's just fascinating.
Well, going back to your jewelry, one of the things that I think is so special about your pieces is that you infuse Reiki into it. I've never heard of anyone doing this before, and there is something to it. When I was selling your pieces, and even just when I wear them, I don't take them off. And all my clients and customers always said her jewelry feels so good. I'm sure you've heard this a million times. I've told you a million times. I sleep in them. I don't take them off. My anklet, a few of my bracelets, they never come off. But there is something to say about they feel good. It's not just I look good, they feel good. And can you tell me about that process of how you're infusing Reiki into your jewelry?
So, I think that is part of the process of everything I do and everything I touch. Reiki is within me, so everything that I touch, and that's why I think big part of I love to be so close to my pieces and be able to still manage all that process of overseeing everything, is because I know that it's an extension of me. And basically when I'm feeling that, you know, that's my mission too in life. You know, I came to remind people how awesome they are, and I can see the soul of the person. So I think that goes within the pieces, you know, it has some, I don't know, my pieces have some sort of strength and power. And I didn't really articulate that until not too long ago, because in the beginning it wasn't that the spiritual world a few years ago, it wasn't what it is today, basically. And not everybody was resonating with all those kind of words and that kind of world as well. So it was very interesting because the feedback always was, it feels so good.
The last piece I bought for you is the North Star. Well, I call it the North Star. I actually think you called it the North Star. And I was looking for a charm, and you gave this to me. And it makes me a little bit emotional because I do feel empowered from it. I don't know if I've ever felt empowered by a piece of jewelry before, but just the symbolism and the metaphor behind the North Star in general. Here's a special one, Mara Scalise.
Thank you, baby.
Mara, thank you for having me today. I love you. I'm so grateful to have you in my life. If you'd like to learn more about Mara's jewelry or to purchase anything, you can find her at www.marascalise.com. Please give me a follow and subscribe to my website at kateparis.com. You can follow me and subscribe also at my YouTube. And guess what time it is? It's time for me to do some shopping. Woohoo!